Hi guys, welcome to this class. So we'll be learning how to cut this cowl kaftan with a very designed back. Okay, so I folded my fabric into two. I was marking initially before I thought to record. All right, so I'm just going to take you through the steps. So I'm just marking my margin by 1/2 inch. Now from the margin, I'm going to get my shoulder to waist. Then from my shoulder to waist, I'll get my shoulder to hip. Okay, this is my shoulder to hip. All right, and that's just the measurement I have there. Now on my shoulder to hip, I got my hip divided by 4 and added extra 2 inches. Okay, and then I went ahead and extended that measurement all the way down. Okay, all the way down, my hip divided by 4 plus extra 2 inches. Now for the cowl effect, okay, for the sleeve opening, okay, after taking out the 1/2 inch for my margin, I went ahead and measured my sleeve opening, okay, and which is 11 inches. I use 11 inches for my sleeve opening. If you want it wider, you can do more. If you want it smaller, you can reduce it, but that's just perfect. Then from that 11 inches, I went in by 1 inch, okay. That will be able to give you the curve, a slight curve for the sleeve. Then I went ahead and extended the curve all the way down to the hip and then straight to the hem of my jacket. All right, so go ahead and cut it out, and that's just it. Okay, you can see I'm cutting it out entirely. All right, so after you're done cutting, this is what you're going to have at the end. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like fully. I'm trying to capture the full of what the jacket looks like so you can see. All right, so this is now I'm going to cut off that margin I drew. That's 1/2 inch, okay, where the label is. I don't want the label showing on my jacket, okay, so I'm just cutting it off. Okay, and that's just it. Okay, so I'll go ahead and separate it. Remember I said I folded it into two. Okay, so I'll separate my back and my front. I actually cut the back and front together. Okay, so I've removed one. Okay, so I'm going to be using one to cut my front and one to cut the back. It's just that simple. Now I'm going to be marking the neckline. Okay, I'll use 4 inches for my neckline. Okay, and then I'll get my shoulder to waist, and then I'll measure 3 inches, and then from my shoulder to waist I'll go down to get my waist and hip, and then I went in by 2.5 inches, and then I'll connect it using a slight curve. Okay, using my pattern master, I'll connect the curve that I have there. Okay, once again on the neckline I marked 4 inches, on the waistline I marked 3 inches, on the hip line I marked 2.5. That's just to give it a slight curve. All right, just a slight curve. For the back opening, this is for the back, we're cutting the back. Now at the hem I marked 2 inches, okay, I'll say 1.5. so I've gone ahead to cut it out, and this is what I have. Okay, so don't forget to notch your hip line, notch your waistline, so that when you're joining, because we're going to be joining this back, what we cut out, we're going to be joining the back. We're trying to create the opening at the back. We're going to be joining those designs back, so you have to notch to be sure that the two sides are matching, so you don't go and join it and one side is going up and one side is going down. So just notch your points, take note of your points. Okay, very, very important. Okay, so that's just it. All right, so now we're going to be creating the design for the opening of the back. Okay, I'm going to cut my back neckline. I'll be using 1.5 or 1 inch is okay. 1.5 is okay, 1 inch is okay. Now from my waistline I'm going to come down by, I'll come down by 2 inches or 3 inches. It's all up to you how long you want your design to be. Okay, so I came down by 2 inches, and this is what I have, and then I'll cut out my neckline. Okay, so this is just it. This is just what I have. When I open it up, I have this. You can see. This is what I have. So this is what we're going to be using to create that design. Now I'm going to be using this to cut on a paper. Okay, so I'm going to be cutting out that shape on a paper, and then I'll be adding 1 inch allowance for joining. Okay, just watch and see what I'm doing. I'm just going to be aligning it with the edge of my paper this way. And then I'll go ahead and add my sewing allowance. Okay, first of all, I'll just trace it out so that when I want to add my sewing allowance, it makes it much easier to just add it. Okay, I'm just tracing out the original shape that I have. Okay, so I've gone ahead to trace it. This is what I have after tracing it out. Okay, so when you're joining, you join it this way. Okay, so I'm taking note of my waist and my waistline here because it didn't get to the hip, so I'm taking note of my waistline. So I'm going to go ahead and add 1 inch sewing allowance all across. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and also connect it this way. So now this is what we have, and I've gone ahead to cut it. Okay, so when we want to join it, we're going to be joining it in this manner. You can see how I'm going to be joining it this way. Okay, so you join to the two sides of the back. Okay, so I'm just realigning it with the neckline on the paper. I'm realigning it to the neckline of the fabric. You know, we added 1 inch, so it altered the neck. So just reconnect it and trim it off, and that's just it. And then notch your waist so that when you're joining this, you know where to join it from, and it saves you so much stress. Okay, okay, so this is where we're going to be sewing the designs on the paper. Makes it easier. Okay, we're going to be connecting the designs on the paper, and then we attach it to the back. So this is all for the back. Okay, this is it for the back opening. All right, so we're going over to the front to cut the front as well. So I'm gonna head to fold. Okay, so that when I'm marking, everything will be in order. I'm just marking 1 inch. Okay, just 1 inch all across the down, all the way from the waistline to the down. I'm just marking 1 inch. Okay, just taking 1 inch, creating a straight line. Okay, just a straight line, and then I'll go ahead and curve it. Okay, so you can see I'm just creating that line. Then on the neck, I'll still mark my 4 inches. Okay, just like we marked 4 inches for the back. So on the neck of the front, you mark 4 inches as well. Then you connect it to the initial 1 inch that you made, and then that's just it. You get your curve for the front. Okay, that's fine kimono curve we have at the front of your jacket. Okay, so that's just it. So I'm connecting it using a straight line because I'm going to be cutting it off. All right, so after connecting, you go ahead and cut it off, and this is what you're going to get. Now go ahead and measure. After cutting down, measure what you have because you're going to be cutting a straight strap. Okay, so this is what I have. I'm going to be cutting a straight strap that I'll be joining if you to the front of the jacket. Okay, so that's what I'm going to go ahead and cut out now using my remaining fabric. Okay, so this is it. I'll just go ahead and cut. You can make it 2 inches wide, you can make it 1 inch wide, 1.5 inch wide. It's just all up to you. Okay, so I went ahead to cut two pieces of it, so that it will go around. Okay, so I went on to cut my lining piece. I'm going to be turning this jacket with a lining piece because the Ankara fabric I'm using is a small Ankara fabric. Okay, but if you're using a high target or a regular fabric, you can make do without lining. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn each piece with its lining. Okay, so I'll pick each of them and then turn it with the lining so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, each piece of the front I turn it with the lining, each piece of the front I turn it with the lining, then the back as well, each piece I turn it with the lining, then before I do my general closing. Okay, so just watch and see what I'm doing. Okay, so this is it. I'm going to overlay the lining on top of it and then I'll go ahead and join it here. Okay, then flip it. That's how it's going to look. Okay, after joining all across. Okay, so you go ahead and do yours if you're working with lining. If you're not working with lining, it's okay. It's just about okay. I'm working with lining because of the kind of fabric I am using. Okay, so I've gone ahead to turn them, each one with its lining. So this is what I have after turning everywhere. Okay, this is it. You can see I turned everywhere. I only left for the front one. Okay, for the front part I only left the center front open. Okay, and for the back I only left the center back open where we're going to be attaching the designs. Okay, so you can see. So I'm going to align them together now. Okay, all right, so this is it. I'm aligning it together. Okay, so this is the shoulder part. I'll go ahead and stitch it and of course weave it. I'll do the same for the other part. Okay, so this is one part of the front, one part of the back. I'll go ahead and join it together and weave it. Okay, and also for the side. Okay, for the side of it as well, you can go ahead to and join it. Okay, leaving that 1 inch opening for the sleeve, then go ahead and join it. Sorry, the 13 inches opening for the sleeve, then go ahead and join it all the way. Okay, so after doing that, now let's create the design for the back of our jacket. Okay, we're going to be using the paper to create the design. Okay, so after joining each back and front, this is what I have. So I'm going to be creating the design, okay, to make them together a piece that is all together. Okay, before I attach the front band. Okay, so this is it. I'm just placing it accurately so you can see what we have. I went ahead and gave it a very good press, and this is it. Okay, this is what we have. Okay, so let's create the back design fully now. So I'm going to open my paper up. Remember we folded it into two, so I'm going to open it up, and then I've went ahead to create bias strips. Okay, I just cut straight strips and then folded them in. Okay, it's about 2 inches wide. Then I just wanted to fold it this way. Okay, and folded it this way and then stitched on top of it. That's just all. Then went ahead to do proper ironing on it. Okay, so I'm going to be pinning them on this paper pattern that I have here so that it will be stable for me to attach it to my lining piece, sorry, to my jacket piece. Okay, so just watch and see what I am doing right here so that you can do yours that way too. All right, it's not difficult, it's just very easy. Just play around with it, pin it the way you want it. If you want it to drape like this, okay, I want mine to drape slightly. Okay, so that's why I'm pinning it this way, and then cutting off any excess that I have. Okay, so that's just it. You can make it as spacious as you want. If you want it much closer, go ahead and do that. If you want it more spacious, go ahead and do that. It's just all up to you what you want. Okay, I want mine this way, that's why I'm aligning it this way. Okay, and of course at the end it gave a very beautiful look. So I'm gonna head to arrange all, and this is what I have. Okay, so I'll go ahead and stitch down by the sides, okay, together with my jacket. Okay, the back part of my jacket. Okay, I'll make sure that the neckline is matching with the neckline, and the places I'm notched, such as my waist, my hip, it didn't get to the hip actually, my waist is matching. Okay, remember that's why we marked it, and then go ahead and join it. Okay, the two sides, okay, of the back, so we create that beautiful design at the back of our jacket. Okay, so join it. So I've gone ahead to join it, and this is what I have. Okay, I'm trimming off all excess threads, and this is what I have. This is the inner part. So I'll go ahead and rip off the paper because we don't need it. Rip it off. Okay, take it out entirely, and this is what I have. Okay, so that's the front. Okay, this is the front of the jacket, what it looks like. Okay, now for the front part of our jacket, remember we did a cutout too at the front part. We're going to be attaching our band to that front, okay, all the way, accommodating the back neck line. Okay, so this is it. I'll go ahead and attach it all the way through, accommodating my back neckline, which is 4 inches. Okay, so that's it. I always like working with pins, so I definitely pin, aligning it, making sure it's matching. I'll go ahead and pin. I work with pins a whole lot. Okay, so if you work with pins, go ahead and pin. If you don't work with pins, you can go ahead and just stitch it direct on your machine, and that's okay. All right, so I'm gonna head to pin all across, and then you can see I left the opening for my back neckline. Okay, in total it will give me 8 inches because unfold is 4 inches. Okay, so that's it. Just go ahead and join it all the way across. So okay, this is it. I've gone ahead to join it all the way. Okay, after joining, this is what I have. So I'll go ahead and weave it and top stitch it if I want. Okay, and then hem the lower part as well. Okay, that's just hem it. Okay, fold it in this way. Okay, then weave it, and that's it. And then do the same. You can see the inner side, there's no need weaving because I've already joined them. I turned them with lining. So weave the shoulder, and then for the back do the same weaving too. For the back, go ahead and weave the back. Okay, weave it all the way down, and then flip it to the front and top stitch it this way so that you hide the raw edges. It won't be showing from that design that we made there. Top stitch it all the way down, all the way to the hem of the jacket. Okay, you can see this way to hide the raw edges that you have right there. Okay, so that's that. I'll go ahead and show you what my final look is. Isn't this beautiful? This is the outcome of our jacket. If you love this, please give me a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you get notified anytime I post. Okay, and this is my client rocking it. Isn't it beautiful? Thank you for staying with me to the end of the class, guys. See you next time. Bye.